Good morning, and welcome to Catherine's Garden and Home. As I look outside of my bedroom window, I'm very impressed with how the garden has just been exploding with life and color. Look at the beautiful flowers in my jewel garden, but then I really wanted to call it the ruby garden. And I'm seeing a lot of red, a lot of ruby colors coming forward here in the garden. This is the end of July, the last Sunday in July, and I am impressed with how the garden is developing. I remember last year that at this same time, this side of the garden was just filled with trees and it was very dark. There wasn't a lot of color and life, and definitely I did not have my herbal tea garden. I had a vegetable garden, but not this beautiful herbal tea garden, which has been supplying me with herbs for cooking and also for teas. It is truly what I imagined it to be, full and lush and very beautiful. My garden has taken on a certain color palette right from the spring, and it seems to have carried on into this middle of summer, July. Now, as we're heading into August, it still will maintain this color of the magentas, the maroons, the reds, the whites, and the purple. This color palette has definitely tied the spring into the summer and will lead us into fall. I really like this effect here in the back garden with the zinnias and the caladiums, the purple perilla, and of course the impatiens. I love how it's colorful, orderly, but yet it gives that cottage garden feel. Yeah, my urban cottage garden feel. I love the strawberry plants in the side pots, and I know eventually I will have strawberries because I already see the strawberries developing. But then this whole area is just filled with color and texture and beauty. And I love it just like that. These containers provide an instant surge and pop of color, and also it brings great joy to my heart because when I look outside my kitchen window, I get to see these beautiful pots filled with so much beautiful color, the pinks, the fuchsia, the maroons, the bright golden color of the nasturtium. It just makes me so happy. and it starts me off on a positive note every single morning. It pulls me out into the garden. It says, "Come and see, come and visit me." And that is exactly what I do, especially with my cup of coffee early in the morning. From the deck, I can see all of these beautiful impatiens, and we purposely decided that we wanted the impatiens in all of the garden beds that we can observe from the kitchen window. So even from the very back bed all the way up to the front bed, we are just in love with the color of the impatiens and the joy that just fills our heart to see a healthy, well-watered garden every single day. And Mother Nature has been helping us out with the watering, so that it is just making it so much more easier to maintain this garden, especially filled with the impatiens that are water-loving, shade-loving plants.
Early Sunday morning, a walkthrough of the garden is such a wonderful time because everyone is asleep and the garden is fresh and alive and beautiful, and everything just seems to glow. And it's also a good time to walk out with your coffee and just enjoy your garden. At least that's what I'm doing. My hydrangeas are just looking so beautiful. Yes, they've gotten a little dry at certain points there, but overall, it's just a nice arrangement there that Mother Nature has put together. And then the deadheading of this beautiful rose bush, my climbing rose, Cornelia, has paid off because now I have these beautiful roses coming up. The second flush of roses usually is not as big and voluptuous as the first set in June. However, it is such a welcomed sight, and the perfume of the rose is intoxicating. That mingled with my coffee is just making me feel so good. In the garden, along with the sense of sight, there is that sense of smell. And sometimes we ignore it, we don't appreciate the scent smell. In our environment. But the garden makes us aware of the smells of the garden. Along with that, I can also smell my lilies. My Casablanca lilies are finished, and I deadheaded them, and they're no longer there, except now there is my second batch of Casablanca lilies right there. At first I thought that they had disappeared, but then all of a sudden it opened up, and it's there before my eyes in this beautiful bed of impatience. Now, I've grown impatience for a long time, but there's something just really special about them this year. It just seems like this is their year to thrive and bloom and look beautiful. In the past, last 2 years, impatiens did not do well at all. They actually, after a while, got some sort of disease. So when you hear me harping on the impatiens, it's for a reason, because it's so nice to have them here with me this year and have them be so lush and full and beautiful, giving great color. I am so glad that I've been able to partner them with the purple perella. And I've actually had to weed them out. You know, gardening is about that. It's about you taking the lead. This is almost like a canvas of paint, and you have the choices to put things wherever you want them to be. And then, of course, nature and circumstances just allow it to evolve and come to fruition. Yeah, because, you know, the last couple of days we've been having so much rain. But it's important, even though the rain can be, you know, a little overwhelming, yet it is that same rain that we need to have everything grow. I'm just so impressed with the purple flower of the hosta and these purple perella, and even with the leaves of the hydrangea. Just right here, it's just so beautiful. I love to paint. And so seeing this reminds me that I need to get out my paints and paint my garden. Now, I do have some paints and paintings that I've created, and it was of the garden in my mind. And so when I see this, it just gives me that impression of what I painted, that in a sense I saw it first in my mind, and now I'm able to make it into a reality. I love this rose here, and it too is reblooming. It is of the rugosa family, and I don't remember its name, but it's one of those older roses that I got, and one of my first roses actually. And it used to be the first rose that would bloom in the spring. And it too has a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. So you could imagine what I'm smelling here in the garden between the cornelia rose and the lilies, the oriental lilies, and the smell of the rose. My knockout rose too is reblooming as well back here, and it has quite a few buds coming up, giving that strong pop of red color. I'm still drinking my coffee. And enjoying this beautiful, beautiful sight of my lilies. Now, these aren't like the Casablanca lilies. These are oriental lilies, but they're of a different take. Look at the insides of it. They're very long, the stamens. Very different. And the leaves, the outer flower part, the white part, has almost like a curl to it. They've been coming back year after year. Very reliable. However, they're not as full as they usually are each year. I'm going to have to make sure that I fertilize them well, fertilize these bulbs and pay attention to them. In the past, they would experience the Japanese beetle, and at one point I thought I would lose my beautiful lilies to the Japanese beetle. However, I was able to catch it. This year, I don't see it at all, which is fantastic. One less thing to worry about. Beetles eating up my plants. So I have to say that this is my featured plant for this time in the garden. It has its special moment, which is right now. I love how this bed has turned out. Really beautiful. And definitely the impatience stole the show here by providing such beautiful color at this time when color is so much needed. Along with the flower of the hosta. Usually I would have come through and remove all of those purple flowers, but for some reason I just like how it looks here. It provides almost another layer of color. So you have the impatiens at the bottom layer, then the next layer is the hostas there, and then the next layer are the flowers of the hostas, which are just rising up, and then you have the dahlia leaves that are coming up next, and then you have the height from the fruit trees, the peach tree and others, and then I have these yellow flowers that are going to be blooming shortly. It's a nice bed. Let's take a closer look at these dahlia plants. Remember when I planted the dahlias? And I thought I wasn't going to get any because they had dried out in the package. I had taken so long to remove them from the package, but I am not disappointed because they look like they're going to bring a lot of flowers here. I pinched the dahlia plant earlier, and it has branched out. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 branches there coming in this particular plant right here, and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 branches here on this one. There's one there in the middle that's kind of still shooting up. And I last year did not stake my dahlias, but this year I made sure that I staked the dahlias so that they are not flopping over. And soon they are going to bud and give me flowers. The peaches are still on the peach tree, which is quite amazing. My buddleia bush is definitely looking good this morning. The butterflies have been enjoying them, and it's 2 plants. I love this one because I started it here and it looked like it was growing like a standard tree, and I decided that I would encourage this. So what I did was cut down the branches at the bottom each time and staked it. So now it's like a buddleia or butterfly bush tree. And here's the other one. It's not as big, but it's definitely beautiful. It is about to rain again, which is fine, but it is important to come out and enjoy the garden again. So I'm glad that I'm up early now to see this. Now look at all of these beautiful pumpkin flowers. And look at the size of the leaves of the pumpkin. And it's trailing through this bed. It's developing a pumpkin here. I saw 1 or 2 developing in here. Let's see if I can find it. I don't see it just yet, but if I come across it, I will point it out. But right in front of us is my Tropicana. And I got this from Costco. And this one has decided to leaf out, and I see 2 more coming up too, I think from the same stock. There was another one, and I don't know what happened, but it just didn't seem to want to bloom. But this is beautiful. Check out the leaves. It's so pretty. The leaf can stand on its own. That's what makes this plant so pretty and such an accent piece in the garden. My crush, hydrangea summer crush, is tucked underneath there. It's doing well for its first year in my garden. I think that that was a good investment. And this too, this rose is called brick red, and I think that I love this. The cluster, and then how it clusters like that, and then as it ages it gets a light pink. Beautiful. I love how it looks with this caladium. Look at that, those 3 plants together, or 4 plants. Actually, this whole grouping. With the Rebeckia and the Wigelia. Nice. I planted a watermelon plant right here, and I just saw this little watermelon developing. And here is another one. Will I get watermelons this season? We shall see. But I've definitely gotten a zucchini.
Thank you so much for joining me on this tour of my urban cottage garden, Catherine's garden, and especially of the jewel garden, and also in the back with the impatiens. If you have not subscribed to Catherine's Garden and Home, I'm encouraging you to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell for more videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. For more videos, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And thank you so much for watching. See you next time right here in Catherine's Garden.